Alright everyone, well, welcome back, and you're probably wondering what my second movie review is going to be, and that of course is going to be on Disney's Jungle Cruise. Yes, Disney is at it again with movies based off of theme park attractions, and, well, I can honestly say I didn't know what to really expect out of this one. I expected a lot of action, I expected a lot of cheesy jokes, I expected a lot of over-the-top stuff, and a lot of CGI, and of course, a lot of stuff that you expect to see out of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, showing off the big guns, and being the big hero and everything, and I pretty much got what I expected. Now, of course, this is not only in theaters, but it's also on Disney Plus for $30, which I have to agree is a bit too much. So, screw it. I waited for the $5 Tuesday at the movie theater, and I think it was much more worth it that way to see this film, because I got what I expected. It's nothing more than an action-adventure cheeseball film with a lot of cheesy jokes. But if any of you have been on the ride at any of the Disney parks, you probably recall there's a lot of animatronic animals. There's a lot of cheesy jokes said from the tour guide who drives the boat and gives you the whole tour. And you could definitely see that in the film. Directed by, of course, the same guy who did Non-Stop, The Commuter, Orphan, and so forth. It was interesting to see this director do this kind of movie. I expected to see the same director from Pirates of the Caribbean, so it was definitely a gamble. And I got what I expected, as I said. Now, first of all, there is some good things about this movie. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, very likable character. Emily Blunt, very likable character. They, of course, join in on a quest to find a certain relic. So it's a little bit of a mixture. You'd expect to see a bit of Indiana Jones in there. Now it's a little bit more of a mixture of The Mummy, the one starring Brendan Fraser, mixed in with Pirates of the Caribbean, with a lot of over-the-top action, a lot of CGI, which the film has a lot of, so that can stand out and definitely be a bit distracting. A lot of fiction, a lot of story, and I think maybe a little too much story. So yeah, it's about trying to find a certain relic that has to do with everlasting life, curing a curse, and so forth. She goes from England, does a lot of over-the-top action inside the library, steals something, and goes all the way down to the jungle, where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character is doing tours for entertainment and mostly money, which is basically right out of the Disney theme park attraction. That's where he pretty much just does the cash-in right there, considering it is a Disney movie. You got Paul Giamatti in there. And of course you gotta have your main villain who's also after the artifact that tries to take them down on the steamliner. You got some really over-the-top action, especially the one part, which, spoiler alert, I thought was a bit ridiculous, where the boat's getting fired at and it manages to jump over and not get damaged by it when they're trying to escape. I mean, they're trying to escape on a steamboat in the jungle from a friggin' submarine that's throwing explosives at them. I mean, that's a bit far-fetched there. So, yeah, you come to expect that kind of stuff. It has some cool elements, considering it takes place during the First World War, and there's a lot of old school stuff. They use old school black and white cameras, because Emily Blunt's character is all excited that she's down in the jungle, even though, of course, The Rock is used to this kind of thing. It's his home, basically, and this is what he does for a living. He's got his tiger cat, which at first is hostile and scares everyone off, but then he tames it and it becomes his pet, and it comes along for the ride. He's basically any movie he's in, he's near immortal. That's what you'd come to expect out of him in any of these type of action movies. You got plenty over-the-top stuff, and it's entertainment, but to a point, it's not a masterpiece. But I don't think it was trying to be either. It's just some good, cheesy, swashbuckling type of fun. You expect to see that out of Pirates of the Caribbean, especially considering it's made more sequels than necessary, and I don't know if this is going to get a sequel or not. It did pretty well at the box office compared to something like The Lone Ranger, which tried to do the same sort of thing, even though that's not obviously based off a theme park attraction, but I'd say this was a pretty good time. Now, of course, there's a lot of predictable things, like the villain's going to eventually catch up, and it's going to play a role in this, and a lot of the CG is definitely going to really come in. I mean, it does get a little cocky with it, especially at the end, and yeah. That's what you come to expect out of this. So, I can't say I was disappointed, considering my expectations were pretty neutral on this one, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So, you may want to watch it when it's on Disney Plus for free, or go see it on a $5 Tuesday or for matinee price, whenever you can get a cheaper ticket to see it in theaters. So, my final verdict is, just a plain two-year Mozart. A good, decent, cheesy, fun time. That's about it. So, till next time, keep watching.